This year's conference focuses on development of new information architecture for justice and home affairs domain. And it is all about the difficult questions that needs to be answered and, of course, a change of the mindset. It is also about smarter and more efficient ways of working. We need to cooperate more and more close in order to ensure that technical solutions in justice and home affairs domain comply with common standards and best practices. This is also applicable for the equipment that we use. Interoperability is not a mere technical matter. It is a question of mindset. It comes fundamentally to change the way law enforcement officers, border guards, and migration officers work. And for that reason, alongside with the technical developments, very close and comprehensive attention should be paid to redesign of the business processes and to capacity building.
Without uniform data, we will not be able to make a full use of existing data or, for example, to enjoy the benefits of biometrics. Not to mention the opportunities offered by digitalization, automatization, and artificial intelligence. Member states must be active and support EU LISA by every possible means. And as a gatekeeper of security in the EU, we need to continue to act in a coherent way, drawing from our excellent cooperation.
An efficient and effective border management based on modern IT systems and interoperability is clearly key for the protection of the Schengen area and free movement and for our security. We want fast border controls that do not slow us down in our travel, but at the same time we want security so that the ones who represent a threat are kept out. The interoperability concepts will ensure, first, that end users have fast, seamless, systematic, and controlled access to the information that they need to perform their tasks. The era where a police officer works with SIS, the consular officer works with VIS, and the migration officer works with Eurodac has definitely passed. We have entered the interoperability era, where all stakeholders need to be aware of all systems, all components, all processes. Now is the time to get organized, to explain the projects to other stakeholders, to create a steering committee, and to make common plans.
Although the digitalization has accelerated getting things done, we are also facing increasingly large volumes of data around us. We have an enormous amount of databases, but they are fragmented and the data in them are incomplete and there is no communication between databases. The recent migration crisis and the terrorist attacks in Paris and Berlin vividly demonstrated to us the large volume of searches that had to be made in various databases and inquiries from the other countries in order to put together a complete picture. In the context of innovation, we have discussed a possible role for Europol and Frontex. However, in my opinion, EU LISA has been left a bit in the background. Taking into consideration the achievements so far, it could be EU LISA testing and certifying the equipment of internal security in the future.
The next step that we can already see is the possible or even probable renewal of the PRIM regime. The PRIM regime is already a step into automation of the decentralized national data. PRIM contains exchange of similar elements that we have in the large-scale EU databases, fingerprints being probably the most notable one.
Guess what? Over the years, we've put our socks and shoes and glasses and keys all over the place. And we had trouble finding them back. And we have now empowered EU LISA to put our socks and shoes, fingerprints, facial images in one place. If they are there, we are 100% certain to find them back. And not only will we find them back, but when we add a new pair of shoes, since it's in the same dressing room, the same cupboard, you will know that the beautiful pair of high heels reds that you're putting there, you already had them. Okay? It's not just about socks and shoes, it's obviously also about glasses and keys in terms of biographical information, travel documents. In all these beautiful systems, we have that information and it was spread around. The Common Identity Repository is going to harmonize that and put all our keys, all our glasses in the same place so that we are absolutely sure that we can find it back.
We, at the agency, rely and put our trust in all of you, as much as you, in your turn, also lean and have faith in us, in our technical implementation capacity. This is a commitment that I, as a head of architecture sector at EULISA, I'll be willing to take, and also in the name of our agency.
Our strengths from Interpol are definitely the databases. We have 18 databases, and 2 databases are mentioned in the legislation of interoperability. So the new regulation, which includes the 2 databases, SLDD and TDON, focus only on a silent hit. Silent hit is a problem for Interpol because our rules and processes are based on reciprocity.
And what is necessary is a secure collaboration, up-to-the-minute information, driving the need for better communication between the different individuals working in law enforcement, between the different departments, between the different agencies, so that nobody lives in their silo anymore.
We need direct European mobile access, so that needs also a European view, a European strategy, a European way of looking forward in which we can have that mobile strategy in place, anywhere, anytime. I need it now.
So for Europol, it's a really challenge to comply with the 3 V's of the data nowadays, but we would like to add 2 additional V's. I mean, it's veracity of information. We have to do our best in order to make sure that the information that we are receiving and the information we deliver to member states and third parties is full trustful, and we can make sure that every single data or every single intelligence packet we deliver to member states is delivered in a trustful environment. And value is the 5th B of the data. We want to create more value and more operational value to the data we receive from member states. 68% of non-IT people is using nowadays IT tools that years ago were dedicated only for IT specialists. So this means that we need to put a special eye in everything related with the shadow IT. So the governance in the IT environment is going to be much more complex than in the past.
The finalization of the automatic fingerprint identification system should happen by the end of 2021. Office, the new and extended version will then include fingerprints, latents, and palm prints, and these should be searchable by member states. And then, thanks to the Commission proposal adopted by the decision makers, there is a list of new alerts. For example, there are new alerts on persons prohibited to travel to and from Europe. There are stronger alerts about vulnerable persons to protect them. The new SIS will include return decisions and even the possibility to include the DNA profiles.
When processing personal data, law enforcement authorities must take account of certain points. That means the requirements of the protection of natural persons. What is a natural person? That's you and me and you and you, so the individual. But the individual is in a certain way always qualified. Either it is this flawless, irreproachable, stainless character, credible, reliable, trustworthy, of sane and sound mind, or not. He's on the other extreme. He is sinful as of conception, better to not have been born at all. And you have to locate an individual between these very Aristotelian method, between these two extreme points. And I would say that according to your penchant and to your tendency, you are either on the liberal side or on the authoritarian side, on the more permissive or on the more restrictive side. And it's not a question of right and wrong, it's just a question of approach.